Another shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloading on it. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Just remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking. It might be the alcohol talking. Let's go.
Oh, there we are. We are live. Welcome to our Thirsty Thursday super late edition of Thoughts and Shots. It's going to be an interesting one. We are definitely not going to be staying on here super long, but I always 100% make sure that unless it's truly extenuating circumstances, we will be on GQ. It's always good to see you, brother. I bet you are, but I'm going to tell you right now, brother, there's probably not going to be a lot of live tonight, bringing people on. I've literally got a house full of people. I've got them from all over. The big G word is finally here. And the G word is graduation. So definitely lots and lots of family. Actually, my entire day was spent with my extended family. I have my, for those of you who got to watch last night, my cousin joined me on here for a little while. She's in town from Kentucky with her son, which is my cousin once removed. We figured that out last night. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a young buck anymore. I definitely need to get out there and start working on some stuff because we spent all fucking day long in Pittsburgh. And I guess she did a full step count, and it was a little over 4 miles apparently. So, hey, but you know what? It was not a waste of time. Good food, good company, good drinks. I've got some recipes. Well, that was interesting. Dude, you'll be lucky if we're even on here for a full hour tonight. Honestly, it's just it's nature of the beast, brother. I mean, family's family. So I spent more time away than I guess I should have. I was not gonna lie, I was having a good time. Little art, did some history stuff. Went to the Warhol Museum and saw just how truly brilliant yet weird that man can be. And yeah, there is a seat right here. So you might as well go ahead and just cop a squat. I'm going to have a bit of a sideshow host tonight, if she ever gets the courage to come on camera. Lady Jesus herself, the Silver Fox.
Everybody. I brought my sidekick tonight to be able to do the behind the scenes because he said he wanted to get me on camera for once.
Well, I mean, what better night to do it than our special graduation edition of Thirsty Thursday Spots and Shots. Keep changing the name, I know.
Thoughts and shots.
Shots and Thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Phones? Phones, you said?
No, nobody mentioned phones.
No, I think he's talking about the one he's wearing.
That's where that went to.
Well, you don't wear them, so what's the difference?
I need a drink. So, anyways, like I said, just long day, tired day, fun day. And now I get to come home to a house full of more extended family. But at least we had a nice day. No rain. Muggy as all hell. And then I can't wait to see what's about to happen this weekend because I hit on this last night. The way they're doing graduation. If I were a betting man, I'm going to say it's getting postponed. It is supposed to rain.
Yeah, 70% chance at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, which is when we're supposed to.
It depends on what. Yeah, I love when people do that. No offense, but every weather bug that I've looked at has been different. So I've seen it at 20%. I've seen it at 40%. You're saying 70. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen personally. So at the end of the day, do we want it to happen? Yes. It'd be nice to get, because we're doing our party ahead of time since we're able to get everybody in now. So our party starts at 4. We sit down, eat, everybody gathers, does the thing. And then hopefully we get to go out and watch the walk. And then I have no idea what's going on Saturday. Yeah. So this is not a no. This is not a weekend you've been looking forward to. But I got some good news for you. You have one less down. That's an extra room.
No.
It's a giant closet, and we know women love clothes and shoes. So you can look at it that way. No, I'm joking. Honestly, people do get sad about it, but it's kind of like funerals anymore, where we don't say funeral, we say celebration of life. Well, guess what? You raised a good kid. And trust me, I'm sure he's going to do extremely well. And if you're confident in the way you raised him, and I'm speaking for myself as well, I'm actually excited for it. See, here's where you're lucky. Your kid gets to see. Mine has already opted to go stay on campus. So I'm going to have to. Anybody here? Are we
Don't
good?
worry about it.
We solid?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. And so is the rest of the world. We good? Okay, just making sure. Okay. What's up? Same shit, new night.
No, it's not same shit.
Live and listen. Or does he mean live and listen? It's one of those. fun words like bass, bass. So, no, like I said, I mean, I am really excited for him. The only nerves I have is the fact that he would go to a party school.
Did you hear the talk I had with him last night?
Amongst all the other conversations going on, probably not.
I had a discussion with him.
There we go. Dialogue.
I had a discussion with him last night, and I let him know. I know where he's at. I'm closer to him than you. I can get there faster.
I don't know about all that.
But I still have eyes and ears down there. So he better be. He better behave.
I don't think he's going to fall into it.
I told him, I said, just remember you're there for your education. Worry about your schooling and then your fun after. But make sure you do have a little bit of the fun too.
He can have fun. I know he's going to have fun. I'm not, thinking he's going to be a monk the whole time he's there. But I don't know. Like I said, part of me is still kind of living vicariously through him. He's getting to do. I started it, but never completed it, and that's one of my big. That's one of my regrets. I wish I had finished. But I tried to go a different way with it. I tried to go through a community college into a transfer program, and then I was going to go to SRU. Yeah, I lasted 1 year.
You still did better than Blue.
And then after that, it was, I kind of focused more on work. And I realized something pretty quick that, trying to work and do, this was a good lesson learned. If I was going to work, I probably should have, and this is where I say he's smarter than me too. He's already trying to get a job right there in Slippery Rock. Albeit right across the street too. Me, I was trying to hold down a full-time job and go to school, and I just kind of, I went at it too hard, too fast, too much, too soon. Ended up dropping some classes to try and lighten the load a little bit on the homework and everything. Yeah. I don't know. That's one of those. If I can, GQ, love you, brother. We are not doing live tonight. We're not bringing people on. So, we have Sunday night. We'll make up for it then. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, he's already got the smarts to. He's already condensed everything. And I think living on campus is actually a good thing for him because he's literally going right from class to his room, fingers crossed, homework, get that done. And I guess he's already got some sort of I think the way he described it, he's already got a study hall of some sort. I don't know. I kind of found it weird that they had already scheduled his classes for him. I guess it's for the first year, or the first 2 years, he was saying he's going to have scheduled classes, and then he starts to get, he starts to pick his own after that. I don't know. So things, I guess, have changed over the years. Thoughts? Do you need a shot? I mean,
I'm always behind the scenes. I don't talk.
and I was looking to talk to somebody else who was dealing with the same thing. They have to go through the G word, and on this show, we always have said, you go to your bartender with your thoughts, air it out, run it.
I am a basket case.
That's better. There we go.
I am a basket case. I have no clue because my emotions are all over the place right now between extremely proud and after all the struggles that he has gone through and everything that we have done together to get him here, and for him to finish out the way he did and where he did, going into this year when they first started doing the whole college applications and everything else, he applied to 2 different colleges. And that's when he found that because of the last 6 years of school being homebound and being sick and just getting by, his GPA was so low, it just was not going to be in the cards for him to apply to any other bigger name schools. We've already worked it out. We already have stuff in the works for him with an agency to help us be able to get him into whatever program it is. We have a bunch of different things lined up, so it's not like it's out of the question for him. But he had to buckle down this year to be able to pull the last 3 years up. And as much as I love my son, and I tell all of my children that they are perfectly capable of doing anything they have their heart set on, he blew me away. I really didn't think he would do as well as he did.
So I guess maybe he might be. Have you guys considered doing the BC3? There's no campus there. He'd be home every day, every night.
That is one of the places, yes.
There's also online schooling. I believe that don't they? Isn't there like what's it called? Phoenix?
Well, the agency that we're working with and with the BC3, they can't do the online course for what he wants to go into,
Which is
nursing.
okay.
So he would have to buckle down his first year. He would have to buckle down. He would have to be in person and be able to do, he would actually start out with clinicals and everything to start off with to be able to move him over to the online classes. That way, if he gets overwhelmed with the course study being with so many people. But we also explained to him, you can't do that with a job. You can't say, there's too many people, I can't work. So we're trying to get him used to being around people.
Okay.
And being able to handle it. He has been a bottle of nerves himself, and his father does not help the case because he's had a stomach ache for 2 days. Found out there's 144 in their class.
Okay.
Well, 144 and
Excuse
10 tickets a kid. That's how many people were going to be at graduation.
Possibly
If
1,500.
every single kid filled all 10 tickets.
Even if they did half.
So let me. I used to hate. I'm actually surprised I'm able to do this because I hate. First of all, I don't like my picture being taken. Never have. I never liked being in front of people, especially talking in front of people. So, I mean, it's one thing to go, like, say, go to a new bar. You know, I was always able to go over and talk to people, but like when I was doing the roadie and security stuff with Dirty Auto, sound check would happen. So the guys would be down there trying to get everything set up. They're tuning the guitars. It's time for the sound check. I'm on stage and Kurt's over there just motioning like crazy, like I'm standing there like check, check. And at the time, I was actually vying for a spot to they were having issues with lead singers at the time. So we were toying with, and it was one thing to do it like just amongst us, getting on the mic. But I found out really quick, and I think this is the reason why I never got that spot. That and I didn't have leather pants. They had a weird dress code. They were an 80s style band. They all had leather pants. They all had the cutoffs, and they went the 80s style. But that's a joke beside the point. I got up there and I
I'll
could.
see you in leather pants.
It literally was, I would grab the mic and do so. I'd get real close and be like, check, as fast as I couldn't try and get away. And Kurt would get so pissed. And all those guys are like, you want to sing. The point being, when I went to BC3, I started to take, I had to take a speech class. And when speech, this particular one wasn't, how to talk. Well, it kind of was, but it was how to talk in front of people. Because if you're going to be a teacher, coach, something like that, you're going to have to get used to being it. And I tell you what, I went from being just every now and then, that guy would kind of walk over and I'll watch the ping pong table for a little while until somebody asks me. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll get out there and then get something going. To okay, now I'm able to talk to people. So I mean,
That's a lot like Riley.
the final.
Where I could bring him in here and he could sit in the side, just sit there and just watch until you bring him in.
Right.
And then once you bring him in, oh boy, he doesn't stop. He can do that. I can take him to the grocery store. I can take him here. I can take him there. And he'll follow me like a lost puppy until I stop and talk to somebody. As soon as they ask him a question, there's no shutting him up.
See, even Connor has that anxiety in front. I mean, that's one of the biggest fear. And I think back to, here's a funny one for you, the Fear Factor episode. Obviously, they always played on people's fears. Well, one of them was being naked in front of people. So not only would these guys have, the challenge was you had to get up nude in front of people you've never even seen before. I think it was they had to say, something up there, or sing or do something. It wasn't just walk out, strut your stuff, and walk back. I kind of felt like that. I always felt naked. Like I was just always, believe it or not, I was extremely shy. I know. I was kind of like you, where I was very soft-spoken, so I was just, real quick to, hell, there was a time where I couldn't even, somebody would say hi, and I'd still sit there like, hey man, what's your name? But like I said, taking the BC3 class, and I was nervous as fuck the first time I had to get in front of a class and actually give a speech. But, I mean, she didn't say, imagine a crowd naked, or focus on one point or anything like that. She said just talk about, pick something that you are very passionate about, that about, that something that excites you, and just let it rip. It was something that simple, and here I am today.
Well, I have an adrenaline issue.
Adrenaline.
Issue. Yes.
Welcome to another shot.
Mm-hmm. So I can sit and I can rehearse speech after speech, saying after saying, and I've done all sorts of different things where I've had to speak in front of people, and I have no problem. I can get everything memorized, and I can get through whatever it is I need to get through. 100% not screw up a word, anything. Get it all done. Sit back down and pass out.
So I'm thinking, obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of, I'm still a people person. I'm old school. When I'm in class, I like to do, I always found it easier when the teacher was right there. They can come over and they can point something out. They can help, you're both hands on. But in his case, I would think it would be easier, sign him up for the classes, but look for the ones that are online. So that way you can kind of phase him in, maybe in the mornings, he goes in, does his thing, then he come home and do, let's say he does 3 classes in the morning.
He would be opposite.
And then
He
come-
is not a morning person.
Okay,
That's
so,
when he's sick the most.
oh, Miss Aunt Jen, good to see you, sweetie. We're on tonight. That's the best way to put it. And look who I got from behind the camera. And I'm going to have to actually, I have a feeling I'm going to have to do the bartender for her a little bit. I'll hook her up. I think she's earned it, deserved it. So then just do it opposite, have him take a couple onlines in the morning. And then once he's, good and awake and ready, sign up for 6 classes, 3 online, 3 there, 4 classes, 2.
When we spoke with the lady that we're working with, again, it doesn't work that way. He has to be in person for the first year. He has to go to the main campus, BC3, he has to go to the main campus for the first year. Then after he gets through that first year, it's pretty much the college saying they have to make sure that he's dedicated and he's not going to flake out.
Okay, then the hell with the online classes.
Kind of thing. Once he gets through that first year and he shows the potential to be able to go forward, then he can transfer to the closer campus that he actually wants to go to.
I say
can
BC3
do.
only because.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, BC3, no, and I'm meaning BC3, but the Hermitage one.
Oh, that's right. They are. They do satellite down there.
Someone to talk to about graduation.
Oh, that's Aunt Jen. I see. Kat, how are you, dear?
Yeah,
Welcome.
we're talking about graduation because it
What?
is tomorrow for our boys.
Welcome
So,
to our world. Like I said, one of the reasons we're going on here late is because the extended family is in the house, literally.
you were with the extended family, and then I was at services for graduation. See if I can say it.
Baccalaureate.
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 Just say
I-
backgammon and call it a
Yeah,
day.
either way. And it was one of those things where my son was not sure he wanted to even go, and it wasn't a mandatory thing. He wasn't sure he wanted to go, and I didn't graduate, so he
You-
decided he was going to do these different things with me so that I had a chance to be able to experience them. And my mother-in-law actually went with us, and my daughter, she went to the services tonight. My mother-in-law said that she's never seen it done like this, and it was very beautiful. And when they first all walk in together, I did okay, because it wasn't just my kid, I wasn't like a big bottle of tears like I was earlier when we were doing pictures once he put his cap and gown on. So when I saw them all walking through, and then it hit me, no, it's not just my son, but I watched all of them grow up. I mean, Izzy, we literally watched her grow up. Paul, over half of those kids, they've been, because my husband and I volunteered with so many different organizations in town.
Right.
So we've watched these kids and we've been a part of their growing up. So it was just so nice. So it was a lot easier to sit there and not, until they all, of course, stand up and start doing this and start doing that, and to hear the different kids speak and what they said tonight, it was
Mesmerizing.
yes, thank you, mesmerizing. That is a different voice you're hearing in the background tonight, Aunt Jen. That's my daughter. I put her behind the scenes because Bill said he wanted me out here.
Actually, my cousin was supposed to be joining us too, and we were all going to talk about graduation because you met Jaren, and she had to go through it. And Jen, I'm going to tell you the same thing I've been telling this young lady right here. If you quit being so nervous, I know that particular area probably has you nervous, but I mean, trust in the path you put her on. Trust in how you raised her. If you trust yourself in how you did it, don't be nervous at all. She's not going to put herself in harm's way. And especially with today's universities, I mean, these guys would never really have to leave campus if they didn't want to. You know, they've got food right there. They're allowed certain foods in the dorm, and they've got common areas where they can get coffee, and they got microwaves. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're set up to be self-sufficient and don't have to run around. So if you trust the fact that you raised this woman in a good way, then trust in the fact that she's going to make the right decisions and not put herself in any type of position that's going to scare the shit out of you. I know I'm going to cry my eyes out. I know this because my last of the Mohicans. This is my baby, and so I'm going to be a mess. And I've said this too. I'm excited for him. That doesn't mean I'm not nervous. I mean, I have nerves. I'm sure the missus has nerves. But, I mean, I stand behind what I said. I mean, a lot of people have said that I've been tough on him over the years. But there was a reason behind it. I was doing everything I could to make sure he didn't make the same mistakes that I had made. And I tell you what, the way he drives, the way he, his work ethic, everything about him. Now, I mean, obviously he's being a teen right now. He's an 18-year-old, so there's that part of him. He's wanting to kind of live and enjoy, and
consequences though too. So he has to be careful.
Are you referring to anything in specifics?
No.
No, I mean, no, that was a legit question.
Nothing in specific.
I mean, I know you raised 3 boys, so I mean.
No, I'm just saying because they're 18. My son is 18 now as well. So, but the mistakes that they made younger. Okay, yeah. So mom and dad get to yell and scream at them. If they get into trouble legally or this or that, they get,
She didn't grab the brick, she grabbed the cinder block.
I see that. But now that they're 18, it's one of those ones where their consequences are different. It's not mom and dad they have to answer to.
And I'm not gonna say he hasn't made his mistakes. He learned. I'm not gonna lie. One of the things that does kind of make me nervous is the fact that he has picked up on my temper a little bit. So he messed up at work one time, lost his temper a little bit, and ended up losing that job. But I mean, the one thing I've always tried to instill in him, and the one thing I've always tried to do was make sure I didn't repeat the same mistake. So, so far from what I've seen, he's picked up on that aspect of it. And I mean, it's a live stream, guys. It's all good. No problem at all. Say hi to the world, everybody. My wife's hiding over here in case people are wondering who we're looking off to the right at.
Actually, it's what?
Hello.
And she's the one that doesn't drink.
Sometimes.
She's just happy.
Yeah.
I don't know how she can be that happy.
I told you she's excited. And you got to think, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. I've talked for years, and I've always said it's not a matter but when I was going to get to move back home. And she found out that, I went through it a couple times, moving down to Tennessee and leaving home and family. And, there was one spell, I think it was almost 5 years before we came back up here. It's just we work and everything, and we just kind of, Pennsylvania went off the wayside for a little while, and it hit me like a brick one day, and we set it up. And so she got to find out early on. Yeah, it's a rough go, but she's all smiles right now because she's got her sister, her brother-in-law. I don't know if they brought any of the kids, and her granny, and her granny are extremely close. So yeah, she's on cloud nine right now.
Yeah, Gary wants to make a comment or have a question.
What's the question?
Aunt Jen, I turn 15 in July, and then I start my junior year in August. So 15 going into junior year.
So graduation next 2 years. 3 years.
Got Christian next year.
2 weeks.
Hey, look at it this way: you're going to be a seasoned professional by the end.
I'm still
You're gonna be tough as nails. But no, I mean, I'm gonna have to talk to my uncle. He's still very involved at BC3. He was actually a teacher there, and see what that's.
When I met the other day.
Yes. He just last year retired. Actually, he turned in his notice and he finished out the school year, and he is happily retired. But
That would be a gentleman I'd like to introduce Christian to.
I'll tell you what, he would sit down and help in a heartbeat.
Oh no, I don't think there's help. I don't think it's help.
Okay.
From everything you've told me, I think that would be the one that would actually give Christian a challenge to talk to.
And I mean,
Christian is very difficult to talk to because he doesn't talk to people like normal. But we're idiots when it comes to our son, our middle child. He understands way more than we do, and we literally sound like idiots when it comes to him because the amount of knowledge, once you get past and be able to get to that point where he starts sharing that stuff with you, it's just like, dude, are you an encyclopedia?
It's same here with me.
So I feel bad because I can't have the conversations with him like I would like because I don't have the amount of knowledge the child does.
what?
Sorry. I was gonna say sometimes I I don't know how to say interpret it. So if he says something smart, I'll put it into dumb people words.
Yeah, she's our interpreter.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Sarah always gets a kick out of it. I don't know. Maybe I can sit down and talk to him because I mean, just a couple times he's opened right up and smiled, and look at this one from night one. I beat the crap out of her.
Oh yeah. Oh.
That's a joke, people. I found out real quick her and I were messing around and joking. We were just kind of shadow boxing a little bit, and I honestly did not put anything behind it. And I literally popped her in the arm, literally just about that hard. And it was literally the next day I found out that she had a bruise on her arm, which
Me and my mom are very prone to easy bruising. So even if it's like a tap, she's probably gonna have a bruise tomorrow by that.
That'll bruise me.
Yeah.
I will have lots of them now.
Yeah. It's because
Ask him.
blame him on him.
Yeah, ask him. Oh yeah, I bruise very, very easily.
Jason and Jan, good to see you guys.
Hey Jan.
hi.
Glad you guys were able to make it on. But No, I mean, maybe get. You got a bruise there now. Maybe you guys can, maybe let me sit down and try and talk to him. Obviously, Sprite.
I told you, you and him will have a blast.
Okay.
Oh, I found out. How much
I'll stop in with my mom.
how much does Christian know about and love talking about sharks?
Oh,
He could write a 5-chapter like books on books on books, like 5 books in a pack about sharks, stars, the atmosphere, all of that. It's just that his intelligence is a little higher than the rest of us in our house. So we get confused sometimes.
people are going to get a kick out of the child's voice in the background of our show. I think you've had one too many, kid. We're going to have to cut you off in that last shot of milk.
It's just sparkling ice.
Okay,
Sparkling lemonade.
That was actually
so when we got to the top of, on a side note, today we went up the incline. We went up the Duquesne incline, and we got up there, and of course, she's like, "So you up for at least a coffee, maybe a drink?" And I'm like, "What? You want to walk around up here? This isn't the greatest spot to be walking around." And she goes, "We're going to cross the street," and it said, I can't remember what it was, something saloon. And I thought, well, fuck it, why not? They, because they allow families in there, they had mocktails. And I love my cousin to death, the kid. I think he's gonna do well. But I was having so much fun with him. And of course Sandy was asking, what's good in the hood, what doesn't have alcohol in it? Do you guys do this sort of thing? And did I leave a picture out? Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm gonna bruise.
I don't have a brick, so you gotta do it with a fist.
She almost said, she's gonna give you the cinder block. Give me that. When I say cinder block, guys, this is exactly what she. Go ahead.
Not the mama. Not the mama.
We don't condone violence in this bar either. We are a fun-loving bunch.
Yes, it's foam.
It is foam. So, anyways, I was having fun with
A
him.
little bit of plaster will make it hard. So
He's sitting there. He's like, so me and Sandy, we order our drinks, which were kind of like mojito. They were good. I'll have to show you the recipes. And after we ordered our drinks, I turned around. I had to have a little fun. Yeah, I got to give him a mocktail and a shot of milk. His head dropped. Sandy laughed like crazy. She thought it was hilarious. And even the bartender, he's an easy embarrass. He really was. So it was a good time up there. Just kind of, it squirreled me for a second. We were talking about the seltzer water, and I thought, oh, mocktail. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a real quick break. Do you remember how to do it, kid? Go to
media assets.
yes, ma'am. Let's see how she does. Scroll down.
Keep going.
And this will be our one and only break of the night, guys, because like I said, we're not going to sit here and, it's already 10 o'clock. So, in honor of Miss Kitty Cat biting the bullet and joining me tonight, and with everything she's getting ready to have to swallow tomorrow. Yeah, I said it, Blue. I want you to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th song down.
One house.
Yeah. This is the Southern Outlaw Band's One Hell of a Woman. Guys, we'll be right back.
a woman. Not young, a diamond beauty queen. She's a whiskey drinking, sex machine. She hits that dance floor, shaking and groove. The guys are true. Watch out, fellas, here she comes. One hell of a woman. Takes the stage, all eyes on her. She knocks back a shot, damn, she's hot. Hearts are pumping, the rhythm is thumping. She's too hot to handle, the guys like clapping. Watch out, fellas, here she comes. One hell of a woman. One hell of a woman. One hell of a woman. One hell of a woman.
We are back, and I got to go on some wisdom I just got. Always remember, they'll say no until they give it to you.
Comments.
We got to get caught back up.
Okay.
Who's that? Oh, no, we're solid. We're solid. We're solid. So, anyway, what?
Even the bouncing.
So, anyways, had to go in and say hi to everybody, and obviously they started talking about food. And I'm telling you, I've never had that many hugs all at once. That was kind of crazy. So, has anything we've talked about tonight kind of put maybe something into perspective, maybe helped out a little bit? Maybe the fact now that, for a change, I can say, hey, I've got it in at BC3 that might be able to help you guys out a little bit.
It all comes down to he has to make the decision,
Okay.
and he's still very indecisive.
On whether or not he wants to go to school at all, or
Major,
Everything.
distance, major, time.
well, what if you? So you said though, he's already looked, and he, because of his GPA, he can't get into any of these. So
Oh no, he pulled it off. This year, he pulled all 3 years up.
So then why? I mean, I know there's like medical classes he can take online, but there's still, at some point he's going to have to get hands on. So
No, I already found a place that will hire him and train him and pay for his schooling.
You know what? Would it be the the awesome hospital? The hospital maybe is an orderly, or
You know, the
start.
the one nursing home in town. But with their program, it is again, you work there, you get paid for your work, and they're training you as well as they will pay for your schooling, but you have to sign a contract with them. For a period of time, you have to continue to work there to pay off that tuition that they pay for.
You gotta, well, just remember, I love you guys. We love you too, brother. Always do. Always have, always will. Especially with a beard that matches her hair. Especially when it's draped over her chin.
And your beard.
I got the salt and pepper.
More salt and pepper.
Moi. Moi. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to speak up, sir, just a little bit louder next time.
Actually, she did raise 3 boys and 1 girl, technically.
I'm still raising the oldest.
Well, not him, but she also has another son.
But see,
No.
now that by the way, I did get a message today. I kind of I forgot to make a phone call this week. I had a job interview last week. And I was, she messaged me today, and she kind of, and this is the fun thing when you do Messenger, any type of text. This is one of the reasons why I like talking to people, because text can come out, they can be read wrong. Like you'll get the words right, no thank you. But that one read to me like, hello, you supposed to have gotten a hold of me. Remember, you said you're going to talk to your wife, and I'm like, shit. So even I mess up, and I don't know. I think it's 2 things hold me back on that job: is the pay and the schedule. Now, albeit it is still day shift, so it will not interfere with this at all. I'm hoping to hear back from the borough, and that was one of the reasons. And then I'm like, wait a minute. So if they get a hold of me, why can't I just say, hey, I had to take a job, but I kind of would rather work for you guys. So would you be willing to give me 3 o'clock or like 3:30, 4 o'clock interview? If they're willing to say, hey, yeah, come in a later time. I mean, a lot of them are doing it.
Yeah, but the job, you're not every single day, so you could schedule.
This is true. This is true. So I think the best course of action, because I've been screaming, get off fucking unemployment. Why not just go ahead? You got the offer. It's right there. It'll definitely make, I'll be bringing in more money than what I'm making in unemployment, albeit not the, I keep saying albeit. I don't know why. It's the word of the night.
But while you're still able to collect your unemployment, you need to remember
The Alamo?
working a job that you love is never considered work. So don't just settle for the first thing that comes along because it gets you off unemployment. Because if you're going to get there and you're going to work 2 or 3 days and not be happy and be miserable, you need to give it some serious thought before you commit.
And I am 100% on with that. I agree. And what makes this one fun is, I've said it a million times, I love helping people. I like working with people. And this particular job, I was already told that I'm going to be, 2 guys in that are paralyzed from the waist down. So I got to deal with 2 guys in a wheelchair and another one that's a little bit, he's like the mentality side going. So, I mean, at the end of the day, she absolutely loved what I said. And she really doubled down on the fact that I was a CO. So obviously I know, that self-control, the teamwork, the patience. I know there's a P word in there that you're like, really? I could touch on that one too if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave it alone. Love you guys. Anyways, on top of the fact, Blue, I found out that these guys, the house she's actually wanting to put me in, every one of them are Pittsburgh sports fans. She goes, so come football season, you will not miss a football game. If you're working, that game's on.
If
I
you're
also-
not at the game on their dime.
If I'm not at the game on their dime, they also send them out to, and they don't just send them to the professional games. And Brian keeps saying, I really like going to the minor leagues. They do that as well. So,
It's very glorious.
I honestly think, worst case scenario, I mean, it's not the first time I've started from the bottom. And there's other spots that are just Monday through Friday. And she says there are opportunities for advancements. There's a lot of opportunities for bonuses, all sorts of fun things. So, at the end of the day, I don't think this particular job I'll be settling. I might just get and pull the trigger. And like you said, I mean, if I still want to try and get on with the borough, which honestly puts me working outside again, but at least, I'm home and in town, and literally I can walk to work. So at the end of the day, I just think there's a lot of signs pointing in that direction that is the better, who knows, might turn out to be the good one. Until we get this one up and going. Come on, DVE. Be my luck, it'll be some AM station pick us up, but still. So anyways, yeah, I got that text today and I had to make sure, just weigh my, just weigh, as in, do you mean the WEIGHT? Weigh, your pros and cons? Love you, Jan, with all my heart.
She's gonna slap you next time she's here.
That would be a good job for her too.
Oh, for Jan?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
That would bring her our way.
There you guys go. Leave Ohio. Make a list of what's good points and what's bad points. Trust me, I spent the entire weekend talking to Sarah, and we just never, finalized on would it work, would it not work. And then, like I said, it's been literally balls to the walls all weekend or all week. You know this as well as anybody else. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, in this case, yeah, there's a lot more good. And at the end of the day, I mean, I get that insurance back. We're never gonna know how good it is until I try. So, fuck it. Like I said, don't bitch about it. Can't live on fear. Can't be a pussy all our life, and just gots to run it. And then Sarah gets to be the true bread maker again. At 6 long years, finally, honey, I got this. And I got to start all over. I'm sorry, are we boring people? There's that phone. I love that. You're not the only one I pick on. I picked on everybody.
My friend texted me. So.
Well, you're on the clock tonight. Got to be Johnny on the spot. You've yet to pull up any of these messages.
I didn't teach her how to do that.
Oh, of course you
I
didn't.
know how to do it. I just didn't know if I was supposed to. That's what I was trying to show you earlier. The show comments on stage.
You're gonna leave Ohio, Jason? Where are you going?
far away from here.
Actually, I mean, those guys would actually thrive over here. Oh, by the way, when it says show comments on stage, I tried it yesterday at first, and all it does, it shows up in a little text over there in the corner. So it stays on there.
I can always just do that on each one.
I'm giving you crap, kid.
I know, but
So, anyways, Jason, dude, let's dig on that a little bit. If you're leaving Ohio, where the hell are you going?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, can't leave a cliffhanger like that and just go, ugh.
you're going somewhere warm.
The
you can come
Bermuda
with you.
Triangle. I hear Pompeii's nice this time of year. Yeah, while you're at it, take the next boat to Somalia. Man, they have beautiful. Oh, sorry.
Somalia.
I gotta remember her age because you know what? I can. You know my jokes. I'm used to an adult room.
I'm mentally a 4-year-old and a 40-year-old. Depends on what mood you get. I can talk finance, or I can talk toys, shows,
And you can
all
talk
that.
with your mouth full too.
Mm-hmm. Always.
When?
All the time.
Yeah, but your shirt stays on. There it is. Ouch.
Says you. Says you.
You know what? At the end of the day, remember, I always give people this advice. You can only lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So, when I say this to you, I say it with the best intentions. Do you never want to get laid?
He never does. Either way. It's a no, no, no. No and go.
I'm not comfortable having this conversation anymore.
Yeah.
I'm really not.
I take Jason up on the Bermuda Triangle. I'll just disappear forever. I'll have fun under the ocean. Looks like SpongeBob SquarePants.
I think her sugar content's way over now. It's done. So on that note, have I made you feel any bit better, or are you still just gonna be that stone cold, hardcore, I'm set on this. I don't think it's gonna fully solve it, but I'd like to think that I might have helped take the edge off a little bit and give you a little more to think about. And that right there, folks, is the perfect example of a woman just telling a man what they want to hear. So, guys, at the end, I don't even want to dignify that with a response.
Mom, you shouldn't laugh with
There
me
is,
eating.
that's an acronym. We don't do acronyms on this show.
Oh my
If
goodness.
anything, it's going to be F you if you do that again.
Or FO.
I cannot believe he gave the OMG.
Depends on which type of OMG it is.
Are you done? So on that note, guys, yeah, like I said, we were going to keep this short, sweet, and to the point tonight. Tomorrow's a big day. I think it is time that I go in and actually make an appearance and be sociable. Food, family, and fun tomorrow. Let's see what happens. Still want that shot? I'll do it for you. Here, I'll even do. Guys, this particular night we are not going to be doing the final shot. The final shot for me, and this is going to go out to all the class of 2025 here in Grove City. If you don't mind, I'm going to do the last shot for both of us. And guys, honestly, you're the next generation. So technically, we're all. Thank you, GQ. Much appreciated, brother. And Sunday night, homie. We'll be back in business at that point. I can't even say we're like a bunch of parents because literally we are a bunch of parents. And I can't speak for everybody, but I'm confident. I really am. And my kid, guys, it's tough out there. I'm gonna tell you flat out. The games are done. You guys, you've made it this far. Don't quit. Make us proud. Now it's your turn to show us that all our work as adults has paid off in the end. So at the end of the day, all I'm going to say is good luck to the class of 2025. I look forward to seeing all you guys outside of the classroom. I had no way to finish that one. Like I said, I can't believe I can say it like that. I've been out of high school nearly a quarter of a century.
25 years.
No kidding. 99, 2009, 2019. Yeah. Time creeps by.
I've been out 29.
So at the end of the day, guys, this was fun. Make sure you catch us Sunday night for the Sunday night weekend hangover. I'm sure we're going to be emphasizing the word hangover. I just have a weird sneaking suspicion. Monday night is our Monday night open bar where yours truly gets to beat the class of 88. Jesus. I guess before we go, make sure everybody posts real quick. I was class of 99. I was supposed to be 98. I'm not going to go into that story again. Blue, when did you graduate?
96.
96, 3 years before me. What is your projected graduation date?
2027. I'll be 16 when I graduate.
Blue is 88. Jeez, oh man. GQ, when did you graduate? Let's go ahead and get that one out of the way real fast, brother. That'd be about right. So for me, it would have been, yeah, I was like 27 years. Guys, we've had enough time though.
That's the same as you.
What?
I should have been in 98. I didn't graduate, but I got my GED in 99.
You may not have graduated high school, but sweetheart, you took the proper steps and you still got a diploma at the end of the day.
Yeah, it doesn't say
So,
GED, it says diploma.
and I'll tell you what, the GED gets a bum rap. It really does. Fact of the matter is, it might, it doesn't say high school diploma, but at the end of the day, it still is. She still had to take, I'm not just going to say
It says
she,
diploma.
you still have to, I've never seen one, so, I
It
mean,
says diploma.
okay, cool. So there you go. At the end of the day, I just got a new diploma the other day when I graduated. School of Hard Knocks.
I was going to say the nursing home.
I'm a master. And after that should be Bader. So at the end of the day, I think people, they definitely 100% don't give the GED enough credits because, I mean, they're not the easiest thing in the world. They still have to do reading, writing, arithmetic, everything we did, only condensed. Wow, we've hit a nerve. Whoa! Now all of a sudden everybody's don't feel bad, Cal. I took the GED and failed. It failed the
Failed
math
it?
by 10 points. And now I'm about to take it again, and it does get a bone direct to not feel bad. I think she, you know, when she says bone direct, it was a bad rap. It really does, guys, because I mean, these guys that go out and get their GEDs, first off, they're showing the initiative that they still want to complete their education. Number two, we had 12 years, some of us a little longer. Thank you, Tennessee. But still, at the end of the day, I mean, we had 12 years to learn everything. They get a handful of months, if that. Not even. They give it. They get so. Okay, I'll tell you what. Run me through it real quick. Let me know what the process is, because I was always told you get a book, you get a handful of, you know, once you get the book, now you're on the clock. You have X amount of time to read and study, and then
So my first time I took it, I
okay,
got my book. My test was 2 weeks after I got my book. So I had 2 weeks to study a book that's literally like this.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, condense it all. I went, I took it. Yeah, I have a 242 to pass.
okay,
I got a 240. What they don't tell you is all of your tests are timed, for one. For two,
go ahead. I'm listening.
Filling in answers because your time's running out is a mistake. You should leave them blank because then they don't count against you.
I was just gonna read. I was gonna ask that.
They go by the ones you actually get answered.
If you have
And then a percentage of the ones that you don't answer goes against you.
okay. I was say that had
How
to
I
be a backdoor.
how I ended up getting my GED is when I was away, a teacher came to me and said, okay, well, you have this issue, and this issue. So if you want to study with me and take your test, because of it being a facility, there is no time limit. You can take your time and you can answer the questions properly.
Okay.
I took classes. I did 2 weeks of night school, 3 nights a week. So technically it was only 6 days, but trying to understand the teacher, to cram all of that knowledge in 2 weeks is not the best scenario.
He probably just gave you like the bare minimum. Just
She was all over the place.
They.
Was all over the place, so it was very confusing. I ended up getting my GED, which I didn't think I got it because I hadn't heard anything. My teacher from up there that insisted I take the test because I didn't have a time limit and I could take my time to do it. She didn't come tell me I got anything. I just got an envelope in the mail. Well, I wasn't expecting any mail. And I opened it and it said diploma. And then the letter with it was from the governor. Congratulating me on getting it. And not only did I get my 242, I actually got 298. I actually, because I went over the credits that was required, it actually considered me to have completed 2 semesters in college of 1 course. So I actually have 2 credits for college.
That's a good. Ooh, there we go. There's someone. So you did go to college. You ever think about going back to any of these classes?
I actually,
There it is.
I actually applied. I was accepted to one of our local universities. But at the time when I applied, I wasn't in the right.
It just wasn't the right time.
Correct. I was starting over. I was starting my life over, and the person I was starting my life over with was not ready to accept me going to school at the time.
Gotcha.
So I made a decision, my own decision, and I made the decision that my life, how I had it planned, was going to be the way it was, and college was just not in my
At the time.
plans.
Gotcha. Kind of a pain in the ass when you're trying to like word it without. So I said, at the end of the day, it was not the right time. You have any plans? Have you thought? Any put? Yeah, but that. Let me try that. Yeah.
Do I have any plans of going back and completing?
She can speak in reverse.
I should do better in reverse, actually. So sometimes I think about it actually quite often.
Which one? Doggy style or reverse?
Would my life be better if I had that degree? Would I be able to improve my life or my life for my family, my loved ones, by having that degree?
Well, and the other, this kind of one.
Honestly think the degree that I've already got from life itself has given me more knowledge than the books they are going to teach me about.
Well, unfortunately, though, you know, the debate isn't whether college is worth it anymore. Most people want to see on paper, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to quote a movie. It's not what you learn in college.
It's how you use it.
Not even that. What they're looking at is you put in the work, long days, you put in the work, you did your time, you showed the proper work ethics at the end of the day just by doing the classes, holding up good grades, holding up your end. And it was actually Sylvester Stallone from Tulsa King. He says it's not about what you learn there. You're showing them that you went to work every day, did the work, excelled in the work, and completed the job.
So can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Why does not my unpaid job I have now not count?
Which one's your unpaid? This one?
No.
I mean, that's a fair question, honestly.
I take care of 3 children, a handicapped husband, and a household. Who obviously does not
He was
know how
not-
to drink out of a straw.
He was not. No, I like that. No, that wasn't a jab, dude. I mean, you've seen the show a million times. You know, we air out.
And that is one of the biggest things that does bother me. Is I'm constantly, when if I go to apply for a job that I feel I would do
Okay.
great at, they want that resume. They want to see this, and this. But when I put down my experience,
Think about it in layman's though. Okay, so what do you put down? You got up every morning. You know, yeah, you met all those things that I just said. But at the end of the day, what are your experiences? Cooking, cleaning, and caring for somebody. So are you going to a nursing home?
there's a lot more to being a mom and
And
a
that-
wife than cooking, cleaning, and caring for someone.
Caring for somebody is, I mean, I use that one loosely in that sense. That wrapped up everything instead of sitting there going, okay, I got in, I helped them do their homework, I helped them do this, I helped, but like I said, I mean, I mean, and this is taking nothing away from mothers by no means, but no, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, you cooked, you cleaned, you provided, you were there, you met all the qualifications, but did you learn anything when you were helping with their homework? Did you sit down and read?
See,
We. Dozo. You see where I'm going? Like, it's not a stab. It really isn't. So don't think, I'm undermining anything you done. I take nothing away from anybody. You saw some Mother's Day, dude. We spent literally 2 hours saying, love your mom, love your mom, love your mom. I mean, you guys, truth be told, that if you want to be traditional about it, the husband, and this is the way Sarah would love it to be. The husband goes out, busts their ass, works, all the time, pays the bills, but the mom, at the end of the day, yeah, we've got one job we have to deal with. You got multiple all at once. So the coordination, the time the lack of sleep, because if he was anything like me,
Lord help me now.
I'm telling you flat out, like there was times where Sarah's like, can you please go hold the baby? And I hate myself for this. There was times like, do you not get that I have to be up in 2 hours? I'm the one going and working still. And honestly, I was wrong in doing so. That was that maturity that we were talking about just the other day. My early 20s. Well, mid 20s at that point. But there were still times I did get up to give her that break, but and another reason why they're in there right now, there's a woman in there that really buckled down, especially with Connor. Because I mean the first child is always the hardest. Always. There's the learning curves. Okay. So let me say 95% of the time then, because there are those special cases. No funniness on the special before you get upset.
He was
Hair trigger.
a very easy baby. My pregnancy, on the other hand, with him was horrible. But he was an easy baby. I mean, the first night we come home to an apartment that didn't even have any heat. And it was 34 degrees out. And we didn't have any heat.
I'm 45 now. So obviously I've got my own experiences. I've learned. And I think back to one of the reasons why, is and all of us have done it.
You're 45?
Yes, ma'am.
Told you you're older.
Jesus.
Oh, shit.
You couldn't tell by the
I
hair?
thought you were.
No, he's 1980. You're 1979.
See?
See, I kept saying that you were, 8 months older than me, and here it is.
8 months
older.
younger.
The one thing that has made me hold my tongue, no matter how mad I get at my mom, and I do my venting outside. Here's the respect. I really think back to, it was 96, 97. Things fell apart with mom and my stepdad. He left. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, after he had a major heart surgery, he tried to come back in, and she had nothing to do with it. My mom at one point was working a rock quarry. Now, was she dating a boss? Yes. But she was still going out there digging in the mud with their bare hands. And I did 1 day on that job and said I didn't want to do it. So even back then, I was sitting at 1969. My favorite number is 69. You go 72 because that's 2 fingers up the bum. So, anyways,
I've heard worse. This is just like a
don't
video.
brag. Of course, I was a kid and going out there sweating, chucking rocks down the hill and making money back then. Did I want to work? Yeah, but I don't want to work on a hillside digging rocks. Mom did. And she was making back then just enough to pay the rent and pay the bills. The phone was always on. The lights were always on. She made sure there was just enough food in the house. She made sure we were fed. But I'll never forget that Christmas. And she did everything she could. She knew I was still into coloring and crafts. So, I mean, literally that Christmas, like I got some colored pencils and stuff like that. And, you know, she made sure everybody had something. And, you know, I think back, you know, stuff like that. I remember what she sacrificed and what she did. So at the end of the day, you just had a bunch of people laugh at your comment. Now,
We weren't laughing at the comment.
We were laughing at his right.
she said, Jason,
Jokes. Yes.
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 did you try to pick her up in the van?
No.
Oh, jokes.
Did he say, here, little girl, try this candy? Jesus God.
Actually,
Anyways,
he came into my house before I saw you. Before I even saw his car. Wait, what?
so the point being, I mean, yeah, you do have certain life experiences, but at the end of the day, they're not the job specific. And that's what I was going for. It used to be they'd say college means nothing. Now colleges are making that comeback. And I can say this because most of the applications I've tried to put in that I wanted to apply for, that I actually have experience in the workforce, they still want a master's or a bachelor's or something along those lines. And that's where I think it goes back to the whole, you know, you put the time in. Did you gain a little bit of knowledge? The true knowledge, like you said, comes from life. Agreed.
That's another thing that I've learned in my years on this earth is every single person is different,
Okay.
and every single person learns differently.
Okay.
The first time I tried getting my GED, I didn't succeed because that time limit.
Okay.
I'm a hands-on.
Yes, you are.
I have to be able to do
Not really.
something.
Not really.
I have to be able to do something. It's the same way with like anything at our house breaks. I'm the one that goes and fixes it. If I can't fix it, and if I have to hire somebody outside to come in and fix it, they don't like it. And my daughter and my husband could both vouch for this. They don't like it because I literally am standing there watching every single thing they're doing.
Asking
Because if it
questions.
happens again, I'm not calling them back. I'm doing it myself. I'm a quick learner when it comes to different things. I'm a slow learner when it comes to other things. When you put a book in front of me, because of the way I see things differently, it's harder for me to learn with a book versus show me what you want done. You show me once, maybe twice, and I got it. You give me, show me, and then give me a test. Give me time to answer the questions and not 10 minutes for 100 questions. No, you got to give me more than that. You give me time. The same way with taxes. I didn't go to school for accounting. I hated math. I started working in an office, a tax office. And I was just the receptionist. I was the office manager. I did all the filing. I did all the copying. I made all the appointments. I took all the payments. I took care of all of that. I was going over paperwork one day and I saw a mistake on the paper because my brain functions with the OCD part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a certain way, and I saw that the numbers were transponded. They were backwards. And I caught a mistake that a woman had been doing taxes for 30 years had made. Well, when I showed it to her and I showed her how to fix it, the client ended up paying back $3,500 more than what they originally got. So she's like, oh, well, this is easy for you. And then she gave me one to just trial. And it was just that simple. So then they started letting me do stuff. I wasn't submitting anything. I would do it and then hand it to them and they would go over it. They would submit it because they actually got it better. So I went and took a test after I left the office because I couldn't stay there any longer. And I started doing it on my own. I got certified through the IRS to do taxes. I went and took a test for a company. I got a call from the regional manager. She offered me not only the position that I had applied for, wanted to know how the heck I did what I did with the test. Because I actually scored higher than she did. And again, she's the regional manager. I took the time. I see things differently.
Right.
They offered me the entire store. I would be in charge of it. That would be my store. I could hire, I could fire, I could do whatever. The only thing that I didn't like, and the reason why I did not take the job, is my personal clients that I have now, or had then, I couldn't continue to see them outside of that place.
Conflict of interest.
And the only thing, I could bring them in and do their stuff there, but I had to charge them their rates. That's the only thing I had no control over, was the rates that they charge. And they're astronomical. That's one of the reasons why I have the clients I do, is because I don't charge. One, I enjoy doing it. 90% of the time, I enjoy doing
65%.
50%.
it. But
Mute.
I'm cheap because we don't have a big income, and I know what it's like to need something done and not want to pay outright just because I'm desperate to get something done to be able to get what I put into it back.
And what I like about what you just said, I mean, that is, to me, a success story. You literally went in and, you know, it's kind of like, I'm going to plug the show a little bit. I've never done this before. I know very little about that board still to this day, and I've had it for almost 4 years now. You know, but I'm like you. I learn as I go. And there are, what's a good way to put this? I'm not, I guess, I am advocating going to college because it gives you the book knowledge ahead of time. You know, and I think that might be what they're looking for. Okay, so you sat down, and kind of like nursing, we'll go with, you know, they're going to give him books. He's going to have to learn the knowledge of it first, and then they're going to give him the hands-on. So you found a way to skip the book part and was able to jump right in. I have nothing against that, and I wish more people would be willing to accept that. But unfortunately, most places are still asking for that little piece of paper that says you read a book.
And it's the same way with like our open bartender night.
Yes.
Ask you questions, everything else. My personal opinion, and again, it's just my personal opinion.
But it might be alcohol talking.
I haven't had any.
I have.
I have dealt with the mental health field since I was 5 years old. Every counselor, every doctor, every this or that I have seen, in my opinion, the ones that have the book smarts, you sit there and you can read every diagnosis there is and every this and every that. And it's not going to mean diddly. Not going to mean diddly because you're not going to understand what I'm going through.
And this, you're not going to get an argument on this one.
The best therapist in the world or the best doctor in the world is the ones that have literally gone through and experienced. It's those life lessons that make them the better person because, okay, so you're a guy. I am a girl.
Oh, man.
No, you're a guy.
Boy.
Did you hear what you said about us? Sorry.
I can't tell you I understand what it's like to have to do this or do that. That is a man thing. You can't say you understand what it's like to deal with the things that I deal with as a woman. So why is it a doctor?
Because it says PhD in front of it.
A doctor who learned everything they know from a book can tell me how I feel.
I would love to stay and listen. You know me. Got to get to understood, dude. Like I said, I mean we.
The 1 hour turned into 2.
Yeah, we tried to turn this off like a half hour ago, and you know, but no, it wasn't you. I mean, when you think about it, we opened up Pandora's box before you knew it. We struck a nerve and we started having comments and stuff. And I mean, if this is the type of conversation I like to have, you know, this kind of this goes to, and I asked for it, and you acknowledged. So I said, here, I'll be your bartender. She hasn't touched a drop all night, guys. We've offered. I just want to do it kind of cool too. Go back there and do the whole shaker and everything, and you know, let me hear it. But no, I think I even touched on that before. It's one of the reasons I don't like going to counselors. The only reason I like going to a therapist or a counselor is sometimes that
Unbiased.
well, it's not even that. I think it's more the fact that that's involved, but it's not a friend, it's not a family, it's somebody completely neutral. The ones I like are the ones that will sit there and, you know, we heard somebody else say this before, not blow smoke up my ass. So I do like the rebuttals. I like the, you know, you know, if you tell me I'm wrong, does it sting? Yeah. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean they're wrong for saying that. You know, that's that pride. That's where it comes in. By the way, Jason says, I agree. I'd love to chime in on a lot of it. Brother, you know what? You got to get up early in the morning and work. We got you. You never know. This conversation might come back up. I got it one time. This guy's what you see right now is what I like doing, and it doesn't have to be as deep as what we're getting into. No, why are you apologizing?
I told you at the beginning of the show. I told
There
you
is no-
my emotions and
First
hormones are all
off, there
over the
is
place
zero
right now.
reason to apologize right here. How many times, not only me, but I had a co-host here that would call everybody out and say, challenge us with something. And you did. You obliged. And I like this. And you ever gotten pissed? I'd like to think that, I'm able to read you enough that's, there's been a few times where you're kind of like, And that doesn't mean everything I say to you is going to be right. So, I mean,
And again, it's just our opinion.
or maybe the alcohol talking. But no, I mean, I like these conversations. I mean, first off, let's get petty about it. It breaks the monotony of just the ramblings that go on, and a lot of times, sometimes they need to see the real, and this is what's going on. And it's I made you a promise. You asked me a favor before we started the show. So I've been trying every which way to keep this conversation going in that direction. Well, let me rephrase that. I've been trying to steer it away from that direction, but still trying to get the answers. And, shit, maybe I should have my PhD.
That was my thing is I used to use alcohol to mask the feelings because I couldn't handle the feelings. So I don't drink anymore. I'll have a drink here and there, but it's not when I'm needing.
when you're heightened.
Not when I'm needing a drink. I know when I'm needing a drink to stay the heck away from it because once I start, it's not gonna stop.
Right.
So I have it whenever, okay, yeah, I'm in a good mood. Even if I'm not in a good mood, I'm having a drink to relax, not to mask the feelings.
You inspired me.
But I would turn to the alcohol to make me feel better. And I don't have to turn to alcohol to make me feel better now because I know, yes, I can talk.
Yes.
I would like to, but I can't.
And I've noticed you've opened up a lot more.
And I would be the first one to tell you, yeah, I'll go talk to my bartender before I'll go talk to the $200 an hour therapist.
Or free.
Yes, free for one, but two, again, my opinion is your life experiences can mask or mimic, there we go, not mask, but mimic my life experiences so you can give me your opinion and not a clinical opinion on how to get through it. It's one of the reasons why I have been 100% open and honest with my children about my mental health and my past. So they know they can come to me no matter what it is they're going through. As well as my friends and my family know. I don't share everything about my past. There are things even my husband doesn't even know. But know that I wouldn't change my life either. Because everything that I've gone through in my life, whether it be good, bad, or neutral, it has made me be the person I am today.
Strengthened.
So if I want to pat myself on the back, and I don't ever do this, and I hope Jason is still listening, I personally think I am a badass bitch for the things that I have survived in my life, and I continue to survive every day with a smile on my
And honestly, you know what? This is why we love her. But at the end of the day, guys, I mean, the one thing I'm going to say right now, I had to kind of dig on you a little bit. I had to kind of poke finally, and you opened up. So that actually makes me, I want you to know this, feel better that you.
Mm-hmm. I'll take
Can
it.
can I throw a damn brick at him? Shut up! Thank you. Did you see the arm like 2 seconds after? I want you to know.
Gonna bring it back, getting it.
I want to say thank you for you knew where I was going, and you gave me the opportunity, and I like the fact that you opened up and you trusted me enough to bear that information. And like I said, hopefully I kind of made you help out a little bit. You know what I mean? So that to me, this is honestly one of my favorite shows right now. It made me feel good that you trusted me and you listened. We had a hell of a good conversation. Yes, we didn't go into overtime unofficially.
Well,
10 minutes.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I hope, sweetie, I was able to
Later.
no.
lose my fucking mind.
Sorry.
And this is only 2 of us, or 3 of us. This is only 3 of us.
I'm dealing with. Oh yeah, well,
You have
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
3 of my
got 2
crew.
more.
There's 2 more at home.
No.
Would you be so kind as to grab a sugared soda out of the fridge for me?
No.
Yes.
No.
1 is not going to hurt you.
Sprite. So on that note, guys, we did. I love this conversation. I really do, and I would very much.
TQ, I don't even know how to pour a beer, and I don't drink.
He probably disappeared.
There's a few viewers on here.
He's mad at me. So at the end of the day, like I said, I want you to know, and I hope it helps you out a little bit more that just by opening up and giving me this opportunity, I'm grateful. I love it. Doesn't mean and I hope I didn't come off as argumentative. I hope I'd like to think maybe I did give you something to put a thought on. And on that note, guys, as I pour my final beer, I said the last one.
Wow.
You didn't pour it, I poured it.
You did pour it, and you did very well. Your head has a little bit to be desired.
It was there.
That's what she
a second ago.
No, he's actually getting upset, guys. I've tried tonight. I keep having to remind myself. And
She doesn't have a filter. She is her mother's child.
Sorry.
yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, kids. You gave me a challenge tonight too. I had to kind of make sure I filtered myself. And now you know that I can talk to your kids and not be.
And just so you know, you can ask her. She said she wasn't wanted to come, and I said no 6 times. 6 times. Or no, you don't need to go. You don't need to go. She grabbed his cup, my cup, and was in the car. I was like, whatever. I'm just not gonna fight you.
She loves me. I've got a little sister. But I could be a big mean brother.
I'm not gonna say that.
So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight. At the end of the day, I like to think the one thing I am going to leave, here's my true final shot on this one. Thank you, ma'am. She knows I'm not gonna. I gave my toast to the 2025 class, but one of the things I do want to say, this is something that me and my co-host kind of did strive for, and I'd like to think now you guys see that, it's not always going to be drunk ravings, and that if you got something out there you want to get off your chest, you want to say, um, I'm not always going to be as filtered as I had to be tonight. I kind of I felt obligated on my end to be so, but I mean, I'm not. To quote my friend, I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. I'm going to give my opinion, but I will always base my opinion on some sort of fact. And I will tell you why this should work, why it would work. And if that means I'm going to, divulge some of my past, I mean, I'm not going to say I've had all life experiences. I really haven't, but, trust me, I've had my fair share, and I hate to bring this particular one up, but, if you guys saw the, what I call it that night, the afterthought. In all honesty, I found a constructive way. That's the one thing you can take away from that one. It was a dark night. There were dark thoughts, but I found a way to air it out. So not only am I asking you guys, I mean, I will air out to you as well. So hopefully, my final shot is, I want you to be comfortable to come to me. I don't, at the end of the day, I don't care if is the sky blue or something as dark as why should I be happy? I'm not a trained professional. No, I don't have a PhD, even though I do endorse people to go to college. I love the fact that, I still stand behind colleges because, I mean, they're not a waste of time. They're not a waste of money, but it is up to you to use it. Now, bear in mind, when you go to college, you're spending thousands.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not putting college down.
I know you're not, sweetie. I know you're not.
I because of being the one that quit and chose to quit, I am big on education. Even the summer times, I used to take my kids to the park, and
She would give us homework.
we would take bag lunches, and in order for them to earn their piece of bread for their sandwich, one piece of bread, they would have to do a math problem. To get the peanut butter on their bread, they would have to spell something. To get the other piece of bread,
Oh,
they would have to
Jesus.
So I was constantly doing education.
Please, sir, more. I'm seeing Oliver Twist all of a sudden.
No, I was making sure that summertime they were not losing the stuff that they were learning during their school hours.
I know you weren't bashing colleges, and if it came off like I was, referencing you might have been, I wasn't meaning that.
I just don't understand why our society.
The system. It's not the society. It's the system.
They
Do you
can't,
agree with that?
They won't acknowledge my life skills to compete against a degree from a college. So if you and I were both going to apply for a job,
Right.
and you had a degree and I had the life skills, I've done this job that we're specifically going after, and I've done it before, and doing no problems with it whatsoever. And you're coming out of college with this degree, you're going to be the one hired before I am, because you have the degree and I don't.
And I agree with that. I do. But at the end of the day, when we go with just life experiences, I'll give you just a far-fetched one. So let's say society, the internet, everything breaks down. Okay. How comfortable are you with, let's say, it didn't just happen. Now, bear in mind, we're in a time where everything is broke down. Schools, like, I mean, we're back to the bare bones.
Bring back rotary phones.
Oh yeah, huh?
Bring back rotary phones.
We're the road. Oh no, we're going before that. No, Brody Farm's been around. This is wrong. We're talking. You gotta go in. You gotta tap the top, and then they gotta plug everything in. And,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you gotta talk to the operator first. No, so think about this. So it's we're bare bones again. Society's broke down. Everything's broke down. You don't have the internet. You don't have schools. We've been like this for 20 years. You know that this gentleman right over here needs open heart surgery. And somebody walks up and says, well, I dissected dogs. I used to be a hunter. I know where this, and this is. You see where I'm kind of going now? Sometimes you need that knowledge. So I can see both sides of the coin when they say, we would rather you have that, and it's for specifics.
But this is what I'm saying is, if I've already worked at this job and I've already done it, I've already done all of that. Okay, so is it,
Which,
as an example,
okay.
My sister worked at a job, not a problem, did the job, excelled at her job to the point where her employer actually trained her more, to the point where she was the one being the trainer. Instead of the trainee,
Okay.
she was the trainer. To the point where they invested more with her and invested more with her. They trusted her enough to have the supervisor position. But they wouldn't give her the title or the pay to go with it because she didn't have the degree. But she was still doing the same job.
And so I see where you're going. So let me rewind on my. So now you got, we're back to today. And I know you know people like this because I do for a fact. So you've got somebody that has worked with a doctor time and time again. They're in that surgery room. They've watched them do it. When the time comes, though, would you be willing to accept that person has watched multiple times? Hand into the incision. They've seen it. They've seen them put the probes on, restart the heart, so on and so forth. Are you going to trust that person? Even though they were in the environment, they've seen it. They've seen it a million times. Hell, they've seen it 2 million times. You still going to trust them to do it?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Is she's already doing the job.
Okay.
They trusted her enough to let her do it. She's running the entire department. But they wouldn't give her the pay or the title. She's already doing the job.
Now I've seen jobs like that too. Okay.
But they wouldn't give her the title.
I see where you're going. Okay,
but
so
that lit a fire under her, so she went back to school while working full time and being a mom. And she went back to school and she got the degree. So they could give her the title and the pay.
I misunderstood that. That was my fault.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, so
Sarah was in the same situation. She was doing all the stuff without the certifications. And that's why I said, remember when you said society, and I said no, it's a system.
Yeah, it's the same way with, okay, so I was an office manager. I ran that office. smoother than smooth, better than the two people that worked in the office. But in order for me to go work at another office and get that office manager title or pay, they want a degree, even though I've already done the job. I have the experience, but they don't recognize that because there's no degree behind it. It's very frustrating.
It is, and I agree. If there's any light at the end of this tunnel in this conversation, not only have I seen, you know, we require you to have a bachelor's, we require you to have a master's in this, you know. I've also seen, not only do they say, okay, we require you to have a bachelor's, master's, or
5 years experience.
5 years
Yeah.
experience, 3 years experience. So, I mean, it's not all bleak. It really isn't. So, I guess the agree to disagree on this one, the best way to look at it is, you know, college may not always be the best, but at the end of the day, you know, it gives you a better chance. That'd be a good way to put that?
Yeah.
This is how conversation goes, people. That's how it's done. Guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight. Honestly, this is the official one. Man, bring it on. Come Monday, you know, Sunday night is our Sunday night weekend hangover. Trust me, hangover, I have a sneaking suspicion. And when I say hangover on this one, I don't think it's going to be the alcohol on this one. Trust me, if there are a lot of you out there that are dealing with the same thing, it is that time of the year. And come Sunday, you guys are going to be fucking tired. You're going to feel run down. You're going to feel beat up like somebody hit you with a truck. You're going to be just like, ah. So when I say Sunday night weekend hangover, I feel like this is going to be a true hangover weekend. That's what I'm meaning. So check us out Sunday night, guys. Monday night, we're back in business. The bar is always open. Monday night bartender, I'm going to be slinging drinks and answering questions. Hopefully, I will be able to talk Kitty Cat into coming back out here again. I had a hell of a conversation. But this is what I'm asking of you guys. Man, especially Monday nights, those nights are specific for those type of conversations. I don't care if you're pissed off the Pirates suck right now, or the fact that you have some asshole just let you walk through a gate and then another asshole go, where's your credentials? Fuck you. He didn't ask me, why are you? Sorry. That one just kind of irked me today. Like in a bad way. They literally just let us walk in. But that is what the Monday Night Bartender is all about. Every night is open talk. It doesn't just have to be Monday nights, but those are definitely specifically designed for you guys. Wednesday night is our Wednesday night open bar, open talk. Always fun, always unpredictable. And then, of course, you have your Thirsty Thursday thoughts and shots. Kitty Cat, I'm sure we're going to see each other tomorrow in some way, shape, or form.
And William, you're going to get hit with the cinder block.
Hard.
The actual one.
Remember what's this Tuesday?
I cannot believe how fast this fucking month has flown through.
So let me throw it out there.
I got this. Steal my thunder. By the way, guys, so we do have Monday night open bartender. Tuesday night, I keep forgetting, this is our gauntlet week coming up. Of course it would fall right afterwards. Jesus God. We're hungover from, the week. Monday night's going to be just whatever. Tuesday night, though, we're going to test our intellect, our intelligence. And this woman, I tell you what.
14-year-old versus a 47-year-old.
I'm going to share a quick story, I promise it. By the way, guys, yes, this Tuesday night, clear your calendars. It is Trina's Trivia. And when I pick on you about this before we do it, I knew what I was meaning on that one. Sorry. So back in my middle school days,
Long.
we used to do a trivia night. We did our own version. I was in that private school I told you about. And to break the monotony and have some fun, students against teachers, they had their version of Jeopardy. And they would always come up with the five different categories. My class one time wanted to be absolute dicks about it, and I can't remember what the subject was, but Jesus God, the questions we were asking, like we dug into the books and we came up with the hardest questions. And our teacher at the time, once she saw everybody's questions, she sat down with the male teacher that was supposed to be in there. There was always a male and a female, and we'll go back to that later. She said, you know what? I handed this to you. I'll let you run with it. You were supposed to help me set this up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit down and ask you these questions, and let's see how you answer them. Guys, you have no idea. When I say we dug deep, we were asking the most insane, mundane. It was supposed to be fun. We took it to that next level. Your questions are there. I mean, there are some of them. It's like you literally just in you asking a question, I go cross-eyed. So that being said, before you guys think I'm busting on this woman or she thinks I'm picking on her too hard, it is not for the faint of heart. They are common knowledge questions, but it's really, it's not the normal conversation that you normally have. So she's going to make you think. She's going to make you work for that one. Liz cannot be on. Bobby cannot be on.
Am I allowed to help out in chat?
Nope. So now,
So
bear in mind, guys, when it comes to Trina's Trivia, after we do it for, what was it, 4 of them? 5 of them? How many did you come up with? There is a tournament of champions down the road. So we normally only have about 5 people, so I'm going to say by the 4th one, if you're that 5th person that hasn't won one yet, you're in a world of trouble.
I definitely haven't won any.
Yeah.
You were the first one, dude.
So at the end of the day, guys, yes, this is the Gauntlet Week. Monday night, open bartender. Tuesday night, Trina's Trivia. Wednesday night, open bar. Thursday night, Thursday. In a partridge in a pear tree. Sunday night, weekend hangover. Guys, we've had a blast. Like I said, tomorrow night, though, or Monday night, let's get these conversations going. Hopefully this woman helped inspire you guys. Hopefully I helped inspire you. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Remember, though, at the end of the day, everything we say on this show is just our opinion. And yes, little girl, this is where you hover over that little red square in the upper right corner. Hover.
I know where it is.
Well, get up there. Everything we say on this show is just our opinion. You click it one time right now. There you can. Yes, you can. Hover down there. Kitty cat, finish it out for me.
Just might be the alcohol talking.
There's that voice we all know and love.
If you're looking for a party, good man, have you found it? Another shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloading on it. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Just remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might